We're back at Daytona International Speedway and we got some NASCAR 2016 cars and especially for drivers. So what I'm gonna about to do so I'm just gonna be driving. We got some modeled NASCAR vehicles, especially it looks like pretty old and it feels not so right as well. So we're gonna be driving this right now. So we are going to be starting for just 10 laps, just one and one and one until lap number 3. We'll return this and I really won't able to do it. And by the way, I'm going to be picking one, and as I'm going to be starting for this session, make sure I'm going to be starting with number 44, and we're going to be trying something else. So let's start with number 46 as well. So let's jump right into the number 46 and let's do with some lap times from lap 1 till lap number 5. This is not going to be painless, but it really is. But we're starting right here on this place, so if the lap time counts, this will be much more easier than I ever seen. And if the lap time won't count, this is much worse than I ever tried to do this. And because of these handling, so much painless. And I just keep on the ground, and nothing whoever sees like this. And this is everything since that I'm going to be driven this one. And looks like we're still ongoing for so many laps and nothing you can see like this. And unfortunately, these cars can handle like the worst things that you ever wanted to mean. And this is not going to be much intense, and I'm not going to do anyways. And looks like I cannot able to handle as the steering problems goes on wild, and it looks like going for a wrap drifting. So let's go for lap number 2. The lap 1 counts, and finally the lap counts as well. So I'm at the next lap for something like this. So in Daytona 500, you can see the lap time counts once and nothing, whatever you do. And I just make a barely huge mistake on turn number 1 and turn number 2. And this is gonna be much more worse, and it sounds like the painless one as well. This car feels slower, about 177 miles an hour, so we're on lap number 4. The lap time counts as well, and looks like we're on for 2 laps to go until this car may go back into the pits. And this will be a good return as well. So I just went off track and widely off track as well. And looks like I'm not going to get closer for my mic, so I just move closer into my vehicle as well. And it's about time that we're going for a one more lap before I'm going back into the pits. And so much it feels not so good because of the handling and because of the steering might be a failure for once. And this is not going to be making so much easy, but it's gonna be hurt. And this is not going to be nothing as well. So if you want to see an onboard view and you realize you might get yourself in trouble, so we're at lap number 5 and someone just joined this game. So there's one player just trying to wreck itself for this vehicle. And I'm not going to do anything in turn number 1 and turn number 2. And this is gonna be much more weird than I ever think. So if I'm going to get back into the pits, so nothing whoever is going to drive that car. So somebody is going to drive that car. I'm currently on number 46, just like in the previous video in Road America, or just something like in the Homestead Miami. And on one thing that I'm going to be do something like this is, where is that dog came from? And under my chair. And there is nothing that you can see. The player just left this, and it just got a mistake by the end of turn number 4. And there's the car on the field. It looks like we just finished 45 laps, and we're just going to be returning back into the pits. I see that car into the field, and it's gonna be much more interesting about this. I flipped it over in turn number 4. Let me just reset my character and not do this again. So if I'm going to be resetting the server, so I'm not going to do much well. So if we're not going to do a 15 laps, if I leave this game, that I'm going to be doing all over again. So let me just reset it for now. So I'm not going to go oof by now, and nothing whatever that you think. This car is absolutely stuck. And by the way, there is one tool you can flip some cars, and you cannot reset your character, and you just always flip some cars that in case of emergency. Since I returned these cars back into the pits, especially for number 23 and number 46, and now it's time to use the number 13. So I just count the lap times as lap number 6, that I need to skip some of the pits inside this one, and I'm not going to do anyways. And let's go to find ourselves for a way out, and I'm not going to do is restricted ones. I'm not going to struggle once again, so once we're lap number 6, this lap counts within lap number 7. So we're starting here for lap number 6, as we're 5 laps to go as well. So unfortunately, this will be much struggle things like I'm going to do so, and we just made a big mistake in turn number 1. And also turn number 2 as well. We just flipped it out, so I need to flip it out once again, so in case for emergency for that. And let's still move on, that I completely going to complete one race at a time, so I'm not going to be resetting some character. If I resetting some character, this chassis and kind of the car body entirely just fall out of the vehicle, so everything just going to be falling apart. And I'm not going to be talking about this, so we're at turn number 3 and turn number 4. So let's count for a lap number 7 today. So we're starting for a bit here in lap number 7. And instead of this, and let's go right here on lap number 8. And there's nothing that I can do anyways, so even though I just make things not far as straight. Lap number 9, here I come. It's gonna be impossible to do this, so I did not count anyways, so the lap just count right there, so I'm not going to be careful, so I'm just still going to be careful on this track. So it's very impossible that I'm going to do a wall ride doing this video game move, or something like very dangerous that I actually move outside. And we just almost spin out, and we just got nailed it whatsoever, and we just put away for this one, and nothing would ever like to do this. So I'm still doing outside, and this is gonna be more hardful, and we're almost having a big mistake right there. And because I just truly have a something like a huge mistake or something. So now let's gear for a not so for a final lap whatsoever. So this is gonna be one more lap to go for a 10 lap race. This is not actually a 10 lap race. It was nothing for it, and this is eventually nothing is going to be so not so right, that I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing this for now. So I just failed for 10 laps for something, and we just got flipping over once again. Since the lap counts and goes on to the lap number 10, let's try the number 24. That must be Chase Elliott's first one ever, so I don't really wanted to do this since he joined in 2007 or even just 2006. So let's head out and let's find a way, and we're gonna be finished for 5 more laps to go. Since the number 13 is on the pits, and another Roblox player just joined instantly, so we're starting for a lap number 11. So let's go heading out, and this guy just going to steal one car at a time to mess up with these vehicles that I'm going to be saying, and this is how the worst things help. And if I'm going to be resetting for some server, this is gonna be most worst likely morbidly. So the best thing you way to do is go low instead of going high. And because of going high, which is making itself for in great danger. So looks like I'm going for this one. And this one was being actually a safe place to drive, and going for a big slide for in turn number 3, and not just want to do ever what it is. And this guy just about to drive some cars and messing up with other vehicles like they're all numbers by itself. So he's about to choose And why is he messing up with some other vehicles? Oh no, this is not very good as well. So we're at lap number 12, and it's not going to be so easy. So if I'm going to get back into the pits, make sure I'm not going to give you some things because he just eventually messed it up. So I'm not going to reveal this avatar. So I guess I'm not going to do a test, and this is not a qualified session. So this must be a practice session. And one more thing, and yeah, you can drive backwards, and you cannot going to be falling off. So I'm just doing a 360. So just nailed it. So I'm going to be doing backwards if I'm just going to be a full stop. And I just really can't that I'm going to do with this. So I got a lot of seconds penalty for just now. And I really cannot do that. So anyways, if we're gonna move into the final lap, so I really going to get itself for a driving itself in reverse, just like Tomater. And looks like we're going for the 15 laps. So look how that the player just did. It's just kind of a bit ruined or something. So the white flag is just up in the air. So even some kind of players just trying to ruin these cars. And looks like I'm about to make things right in order. In order to do this, that I'm going to nothing that I'm going to do. So I did not just going to do it right. So I'm not going so high for anywhere, and I'm not going to do anyways. And looks like I'm in a number 24. So we're still here, and this is nothing that you ever seen for this. And this is not be the last time visiting here when I was in the future. It looks like we're heading down towards to the finish, and the high banks is just a little bit much dangerous as well. So I'm going for a final straight after we enter this crowd, and the checkered flag is up and finish the qualify and practice session. So looks like congratulations for me. The final results was just a bad time. So look at this time. So the fastest lap record was the 55 seconds .833, and that is the fastest lap on us. So just like I'm driving this one like the cars or something, because I'm really able to drive this car because I really can't do this because actually I just finished for the P1, so I finished in P5 or just for a P2 as well. So I'm going to clean all these cars in order to make things right, and because of this, because that Roblox player just messed things up. And look how he did. This is the worst thing that you ever saw like this. So even it closer to the number 11, so a pile up of these vehicles, so I have to clean it up. So well, that's it for today's video. If you enjoy for this experience, this game link is in description below, that I absolutely clean everything up, that this guy just messed things up, and absolutely as well. So thank you for watching and for all your support. So if I'm not going to do an outro way, so I'm still going to get things fixed. And exactly, there is one car that I'm going to flip upside down. So even there is one last one. And another thing's another chaos and another thing. So anyways, thanks for watching. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to make things clean it up. So I need to reset the server. So otherwise that I need to do so. So I really actually nothing that I'm going to clean this, by the way. So I'm about to reset the server, but maybe it's time that I'm going to be leaving the game. So I'm Turbo Concepts signing off, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video, and I'll talk to you guys all later.